And welcome to the weekly Etch Play Show. Here with me, Taya, and oh, that's a good start. The lovely Charlotte, who has joined me here today. Hi, Charlotte. How are you?
Hi, I'm good, thank you. I'm
Thank
good.
you so much for joining me today. If you are new here, the Edge Play Show is our weekly show where we talk all about the games news and the latest announcements, and we play games and we generally just have a good time. And this week, I've got a very, very special show for you. It's my very first one solo, which I am so excited for. But it's also the Mental Health Awareness Week special show, which is the best for me, I think, because it's so special to me. And I've got a wonderful guest here to talk all about that today. How are you today, Charlotte? I think I already asked you that.
I'm good, thank you. I'm excited to chat and just discuss the general Mental Health Awareness Week and Safe in Our World and all the great stuff that they do.
Excellent. Awesome. So, for those of you who don't know the lovely Charlotte, she is the platform coordinator for Press Engine. She is a Safe in Our World champion and also the diversity and wellbeing officer for an upcoming industry initiative, which is all very, very hush hush, but it will be announced at some point, which is very exciting. And as Charlotte has rightfully mentioned, both me and her are champions of Safe in Our World, which is a great charity in the games industry all about mental health, well-being and awareness, and supporting gamers, but also individuals who work in the industry. Their mission is to foster positive mental health well-being and deliver support not only for players but also for developers, publishers, retailers, and other incredible folk and teams who make up the video games industry. And their goal is for the industry to come together and start a conversation that can change lives. And we obviously both think that's a great thing because we've both joined as champions, and we'd love to talk a little bit more about, how we feel about it, but also the great work that those folks are doing. How does that sound, Charlotte?
Sounds good. I think you nailed that intro, by the way. That was very well
Thank
done.
you. I feel very proud of myself. I prepped for you, just for you.
Oh,
So I guess first things first, it's Mental Health Awareness Week right now. I think it's also the Mental Health Awareness Month as well. What does that mean to you? What does that Awareness Week / month mean to you personally?
I think for me, it's that age-old tale of visibility, isn't it? Like, it's very important to have an open discussion about mental health anyway. But these sort of this week and this month gives everyone that opportunity to say, okay, I am going to talk about my mental health. I am going to talk about what I've overcome and what I'm dealing with. And it's just very important, I think, to have that set time, because there is still stigma around mental health, isn't there? And this allows people to just get out there and say, do you know what? I have anxiety, or I have depression, or, one of the other many conditions. And this is me, and this is what I need help with. And I think it's really important.
Great. Awesome. I completely agree. I think for me, it's very much the same. It's about saying like, hey, it's not just this thing that needs to be hidden away and not talked about. It's just a normal part of life. We all go through bad patches. We all know someone who've experienced some kind of mental health issue, and that's okay. It's okay that that's happened. It's okay to ask for help. It's okay to talk about it, but it's also okay if you're not ready. And I think for those people as well, it's nice to be able to see other people out there who are, living their best lives in spite, I guess, of some of the struggles they face, or are honestly just saying, do you know what? I'm struggling right now and I'm trying to find a way to help myself. And I think that's so, so important because, as I'm sure you might have experienced, not every place is going to be as understanding, and it's trying to change that awareness, change the world, I guess.
Yeah, definitely. I think that point you made about some people not wanting to talk about it, I think that's really valid as well, because weeks like this allow those people to access help and see other people's stories without feeling like they have to, if they're not ready to talk about it or they don't want to talk about it, it gives them an opportunity to seek out that information that they might need.
Definitely. And speaking of information, I guess a great place that we know for information and support is the lovely Safe in Our World, which is, I think, dubbed the Video Games Mental Health Charity. Now, as I mentioned, we're both champions of this lovely initiative. What initially inspired you to kind of get involved with Safe in Our World?
I think for me, it was being a newcomer to the industry. I've not been here for even a year yet, and even before I joined, the games industry is very, not renowned, that's not the right word, but there's a lot of negativity around certain topics within video games. And for me, it was important to try and help make the place a better place for other people. I think I'm really passionate about helping people, and I wanted to help people be like, okay, well, she's living with anxiety or whatever, but she's still off doing what she can and trying to live her best life despite, the anxiety. So I think that's what inspired me to join, was like, okay, I want to help other people who might feel like they can't do this or they don't know how to talk about this, and just normalize that conversation, really.
And that is really, it's like I'm looking in the mirror, very similar to my own, I guess, journey with Safe in Our World. I think it really ties with that awareness. It's about, I wish when I was struggling that I could look out and see people who have been through the same as me and say, actually, I got through it and now I'm doing these cool things. And even though, I still struggle some days and some days aren't as easy as others, I haven't let that stop me. And you can live with it. You can go out and still have your life. And I think that's the really great thing, I guess, about Safe in Our World, because a lot of the initiatives they have are really not just around the industry itself, but just gamers as well. Often gamers and people who enjoy playing games sometimes can be quite isolated. They can feel sometimes that they're not sure what they're doing, if what they're experiencing is normal. And it's about giving a place to those people to talk to each other and to figure out that actually it's okay, there are others out there like you, and there are many things that you can do to try and support yourself but also support others, I guess.
Yeah, definitely. And it's that talking about it and normalizing that conversation is very important. And I think it's I just love what Safe in Our World do, because they build such a lovely community, and everyone's so supportive of one another, and the Discord's so friendly to be a part of. And it's just, I just think their message is just really great.
Yeah, definitely. And I would definitely recommend, if you're not familiar with Safe in Our World, to go and read up a little bit about them. And their Discord, like Charlotte says, is a lovely place to be. It is just a place full of people who are just like you and me, just living their lives, just having a good time, and are completely honest and open to talking about their own journeys, their own struggles, but also their triumphs and their inspirations, which I think is a really great place to be. Wonderful. So I guess that we've talked a little bit about gamers and how, sometimes the industry can be quite a difficult place in both as a worker, but also as a gamer. We're constantly seeing these scary articles about, video games are terrible for your mental health. Video games are going to turn you into a zombie or a serial killer, like this and that. And there's a lot of, I think, misunderstanding outside, but also inside the industry around, what video games are and how can they affect us. So what do you think about that kind of thing? Do you think video games are bad for mental health, as all these sensationalist articles want us to think?
No, I don't. I think that that especially in this day and age, and that sounds so cliche, but in the last few years, it's not like the world has completely changed, hasn't it? It's not what it used to be, and a lot more people need a lot more of escapism from the real life. Is really hard. It's hard. Being an adult is hard, and no one told you it would be like that. And I think that like games are really good for mental health because they do give you that like little safe space of your own, and they provide that for so many people, and they can also help you work through stuff too. And I think people who don't play games don't always understand that, and maybe they don't want to, maybe they're fine not knowing, and they don't want to change their worldview. But I think games are important and they are valid, and people definitely need them for mental health. I mean, you don't even have to play a game themed around mental health to feel better, if you're having a bad day.
Yeah, definitely. And I think, like you say, there's so many different ways that games can really positively impact your mental well-being, not just from escapism to try and get out of maybe a bad situation, but also the way they can just connect all of us together. That whole thing about, someone who plays games just alone in their room, just like playing their little games, like that's not really how modern gameplay really works. So much of games is collaborative, so much of it is cooperative, and so many people now have friendships and relationships all over the world with people they've never even met, who they've met through a game, who they have this hobby that they can share with, they can really get excited about. And places like the Safe in Our World Discord are a great way to show that, because there's people there all the time just connecting and playing games together. And I know there's other discords that we're part of that is also a thing where people are like, do you know what, yeah, let's go play a game. And I think my views are quite clear on it, but it's just great. And it's a great way to just connect, not even across the world, but even in your living room. Playing games in your living room with your family can be such a bonding experience as well.
Definitely. It's that gamers give you so much more of a sense of community than I think they once did. Even from when I was little and was playing them for the first time, with the development over the years has just been brilliant, and it's brought so many people together. And I think a lot of outside views want to tear that down and say, oh, it's bad and it's isolating and it's worse for your mental health because you're a loner and blah blah blah. But actually it's the complete opposite. You can always find someone to talk to about your favorite game, and you can play your favorite game with other people, and I just think that's important.
Definitely 100% agree on that. And speaking of games, what would you say your favorite or the best example of video games that do tackle mental health? Obviously, as we've said, not every video game is going to be on that topic to be good for your mental health, but I think what is really good as well is how many people have used video games as a mode to tell stories, to also help each other connect and understand. Do you have any favorites or any like really good examples that you would say this is mental health and video games done right?
Do you know what? I had to write stuff down for this question. I had so much, and I was like, I'm going to forget everything. I just know it. So at the moment, I'm currently playing Arise, A Simple Story, and I really like how that shows grief, which, whilst isn't a mental health, condition, the grief can dramatically impact mental health, and it's the game's just beautiful. Like, it's done so well. And then of course Rainbow Billy, which I think I tell everyone to play because I absolutely love it. It's full of fun, bright characters, but they're also dealing with a lot of stuff, and the advice they give to each other is just, it's so beautiful and like wholesome. So I think that's a brilliant mental health game. And then when my anxiety is high, like it has been this week, I play unpacking, because I just the need for order, it just satisfies that need, and I can just, when I'm feeling overwhelmed, it's really good to be like, okay, that spoon needs to go in the kitchen and it will stay there. But then, the other end of it, I'll play Tekken or Street Fighter just to try and get anger off somehow. But yeah, Safe in Our Worlds is great for this, because they've got like a whole list of recommended games and apps on their website. And I know Rosie's mentioned a lot about Hellblade and Life is Strange, because they do amazing jobs with their storytelling as well. So yeah, there's just so many. Like, I just said, there's so many. I haven't got enough time. But yeah, I think Checkpoint.org as well do a really great job of, like, they have like a checklist, so you can see if the game is representing mental health well. So I think the acronym is LAPSes. Let's see if I get this right. LAPSes. So language, accuracy, purpose, stereotypes, empathy, and support.
There you go.
Yeah, so they're really good for like taking through and seeing like how a game, stacks up against those points, and how the representation is that way.
That's really great. I've learned something new today, so I'm going to go and read up about that for sure. And I think it's great that these, initiatives are kind of trying to educate us a little bit more about it as well, because, I think, as with kind of any media, I guess with movies as well, is sometimes mental health has been used as a plot point or kind of like a trigger point to, I guess, get characters to do stuff that seems unfocused or kind of bad. And I think that's really given a really bad rep to mental health, especially for specific disorders. People have this understanding of like, okay, well, I've seen this film and it showed someone with schizophrenia is like this, so now I'm going to believe that everyone is like that. And I think that's such a disservice to how different we all are and how differently all these things affect us. And I think when you can find a really good example of not just the normalcy of these experiences, but just the accuracy to actually understand like, no, actually people with mental health issues aren't more likely to stab you in the street. Like, that's just not true, right? There's no data to back that up. My, I think, favorite, or I don't know if favorite, because I cried a lot, but an experience, like a really emotional experience that I've had with a game to do with mental health was actually Gris, which I played for the She Plays Games Indie Game Club quite a while ago now, maybe like nearly a year now. And if you haven't played it, I would really recommend it. It is gorgeous. The soundtrack, the art direction, everything. There's not a single word spoken in the whole game.
Ooh.
But it makes you feel feelings, especially, I think, for me, the portrayal of grief and depression and kind of hopelessness, just told through music and beautiful visuals. I can't believe they did that. Like I said, I cry because I got to a point in it where I was like, someone has taken my feelings and has made a piece of art out of it. And it was amazing. And anyone who's watching Gris, it's only like a couple of hours long. It's not too difficult. It's like a puzzle platformer kind of game, but it is absolutely gorgeous. Soundtrack I still listen to, and it's so emotional. And please, we've got people in the chat saying it's incredible. Welcome. I forgot to do the chat. Welcome, Gam. Welcome, Tony and Lauren from SPG. Gris was very incredible. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So I need to play that.
You need to play that.
I know what to play if I need a great big cry.
It's. I would say like you will cry, but you will like that you've played it at the end. Like it makes you feel things. Wonderful, great. So I guess before we wrap up, is there anything more you'd like to say about games, mental health awareness weeks, Safe in Our World, or anything along those lines?
I think that I've done quite well to fit in as much as I have in my very short time. I would like to, if I'm allowed to, just a little plug Press Engine's currently raising money for Safe in Our World at the moment, and it's our last day tomorrow of our little Wordfall event. So if you like Tetris and you like Scrabble, you will like Wordfall. So please do come join us to play and help us reach our £300 target.
Wonderful. No, that is totally fine. If you want,
it's related.
Yeah, it's fine. Don't worry. You can put a link in the chat. I don't think I'll be able to because I'm. There's also things I need to do.
Hosting. You shouldn't.
I'm hosting. I'm not doing things. But yeah, thank you so much for joining me. It's been so lovely to have you in the show and to chat all about all the fun stuff. Next up, we're going to have some lovely gameplay footage from our very own Adam and Pete playing some kind of ice hockey game. I'm not good at sport, so I'll just let you watch it and we'll talk about it after. And after that, I'll come back and we'll talk about some breaking news in the games industry. Again, thank you so much, Charlotte, and we will see you later, I guess.
Hey, it's Adam here, and you're watching an Etch Play video, and I'm joined today by sports correspondent Pete Keating. How's it going, Pete?
Hey, how's it going? Yeah, good. How are you?
I'm good, and we're going to play some NHL. This is NHL 21. We are going to play some ice hockey. Do you know how to play ice hockey? Because I kind of do.
I've got absolutely no idea, but I have watched ice hockey recently. And I watched the Rangers, hence my pick. But playing it on for a game, I've never done it.
Okay, well, let's see how we get on.
But I'm still going in with a lot of confidence.
Yeah, and neither of us know the controls. We've not had any practice whatsoever. We're just gonna jump right in. It's the Rangers versus the Anaheim Ducks, and we'll see how we get on here. I'm assuming the stick moves. That much I can probably figure out.
Yeah, I reckon A is pass.
Pass, yeah.
I'm going to treat it like FIFA, essentially.
Yeah, it's just FIFA on ice. That's all it is.
It'd be good to get some predictions in the chat, to be fair.
Yep, if you're in the chat, let us know who do you think's going to win, Anaheim Ducks or the Rangers. Ducks are in black. Oh.
I was too late. Oh, God, what's going on? Ooh. I quite like the shooting mechanic, to be fair.
Yeah, it's good. What was that?
Oh, I just whacked you with my stick. That's not a euphemism to me, but
yeah.
I think one of my players has just been putting the sin bin. We've got a man advantage.
Yeah,
you can't do that.
Disgusting behaviour.
Lindgren. Disgusting player. Have I got another person that's in? Oh. I think I'm timing my stick check.
Yeah, I think you are just a filthy, filthy cheater. So even if you win this, it's a moral victory for me.
Against it, like next to each other.
Oh, come
I've
on.
done it again. I'm going to have no players left.
Get them off.
3.
Get them all in the sin bin.
5 on 3.
Look at that. You weren't even close.
I mean, what did he do? How have I even done that? Kevin Rooney. Wayne's brother.
Yeah.
Waste time, essentially. Not like that.
Oh, what? I ran out of time.
They do have offsides. No, I think offside.
Offside is in my own half. Someone tackle him.
Oh, good save. Do you think you would be a good goalie?
No.
No.
I don't think I've got the reflexes for it, and I'd be scared of getting hit by the puck at high speeds.
Yeah.
I know they're padded and stuff.
They do wear a lot of padding.
Oh, it was a great
good
pass.
save. Players seem to escape to the ball. Oh, how did I do that?
Oh, come on. How many shots? Your goal is incredible.
Oh, good interception. Oh. I finally managed to... What are we doing here? Oh, I just scored no goal. I think I just scored no goal. What am I doing? I'm just getting into my own net. He's even done it in such a way where he's taken it round the goalie.
Yeah, he didn't even go into the goal.
He might as well just run. He might as well just run off celebrating. he almost did. Oh, we got ourselves a game here, Adam.
Yeah.
What? Icing. We need to learn what that means. Icing.
Yeah. Someone in the chat, Google icing and tell us what it means.
Give it some hustle. See, my players seem to just skate in front of each other.
Oh, come on, that's a foul.
You again. Oh dear. My timing on my
you are the
my
biggest cheater the NHL has ever known.
My timing on my poke check's not great. No, it's so bad.
You guys, a bunch of little... You're just basically whacking my team on their ankles with the stick.
Yeah.
When you've already scored on the power play and you get one now, you can't wait. The wall by Getzlaff.
Oh, clever. Oh, God. Oh, what a save!
He keeps that play alive with effort only.
I'm legitimately getting
Did you hear what the commentator just said?
No, what did he say?
He's been busy tonight. Referring to my goalie.
It's making me angry, like how many shots I've had and how few goals it's resulted in.
Get rid of it. Not to him. Oh, good shot.
Oh, your keeper is outrageous. I'm furious. I'm just going to start shooting from my own half.
You can't score from a yard. You're not going to score from your own half.
Well, what's the point of skating down here if I'm going to miss anyway? It's just a waste of my time.
Uh-oh.
Nice save by the keeper to trap that puck in his chest.
Oh, this feels choreographed. It's like
That's icing.
Hello, I am back with you to talk all about the latest news in the games industry. And just now you watched Adam and Pete on the lovely Etch Play team play a bit of ice hockey. Not sure if I still understand any of the rules, but it looked like they were having fun. So without further ado, the latest news from the lovely games industry that we all so love. First, we have Microsoft reportedly planning to launch cloud streaming, a device for cloud streaming by summer of 2023. Microsoft is reportedly looking to ramp up its cloud gaming efforts in 2023 by launching a new device for streaming games to users' TVs. Sources told VentureBeat the planned device will be similar to the Amazon Fire Stick and will also allow you to access films and TV shows. The key selling point will be Xbox Game Pass's library of titles that are playable via the cloud, something currently only available to subscribers of the service's Ultimate tier. It's unclear whether buying this device will come with free access or require an additional subscription. Microsoft is also said to be in talks with Samsung to add an Xbox Gaming Pass streaming app to television sets. This is very exciting. Cloud gaming seems to be on the up, and it looks like it's going to be something pretty interesting, being able to just sit back, put whatever you want on without any hard drives or any heavy machinery or a fancy computer and just play. So it'll be interesting to see when and how that's going to work when it comes out. Still on the Xbox news, there was a 12-hour Xbox outage, leaving console owners unable to launch or buy games. They were unable to play or buy titles, because of a major outage of the online systems used to verify game ownership. The issues were first acknowledged by the Xbox support team's Twitter account on Friday morning, and it quickly became clear that some users were unable to play cloud gaming titles or even to launch games installed on their Xbox consoles from the Microsoft Store. Later, it emerged that buying games was also subject to errors. VGC reports the outage lasted at least 12 hours, while Xbox support was still responding to reports of some issues on Sunday. The outage has attracted a lot of criticism, with affected users angry at the use of online verification for preventing them from playing games they had purchased and fully installed to their console. Luckily, this didn't go past the 12 hours, but it does put into question something that we have talked a bit about on the show around, do you own a game that you buy on an online store if that game doesn't let you play it when you want? An interesting thing to talk about. Next, we have EA in the news. So EA is parting ways with the FIFA brand name. It's one of the most profitable franchises in gaming history, but the cost of the FIFA name license was fairly steep, thought to be one reason why the decision was made to ditch the partnership. EA will continue to make football video games, but from 2023 they will be called EA Sports FC. FIFA says it plans to release its own rival games and have said the FIFA name is the only global original title. EA Sports made the first FIFA game in 1993, the year I was born, and has been in charge of the franchise ever since. That's a very long time. EA says they will continue to offer real teams and players in their new franchise, having signed up 19,000 athletes, 700 teams, 100 stadiums, and over 30 leagues for future games, spanning the Premier League, Bundesliga, La Liga, and more. I obviously know a lot about football. There will be one final FIFA release with this year's edition, FIFA 23, on sale this autumn as usual. Reaction online has been mixed, with many players critical of EA's move. I'm not sure what I think about this. I guess for me, the game will probably not suffer because the same people will be making it, but I guess we'll have to see what that will look like. And a special treat for all you fine folks, we have some breaking news that came out today. Bethesda have delayed Redfall and Starfield into the first half of 2023. Earlier today, Bethesda announced the decision to delay the launches of both of the highly anticipated games in a post on Twitter. The post in question states that the teams at Arcane and Bethesda Game Studios have incredible ambitions for their games and want to ensure that players receive the best, most polished of them. We want to thank everyone for their excitement for Redfall and Starfield. Their energy is a huge part of what inspires all of us every day and drives our own excitement for what we are creating. We can't wait to share our first deep dive into the gameplay for both Redfall and Starfield soon. Thank you for your support. This announcement is perhaps unsurprising after many other AAA games have been forced to delay in recent years, in part due to COVID-caused shortages and the lingering effects of the whole games industry seemingly being on a delay. Many fans have been understandably disappointed about the news, but a fair number are also understanding of the complexity of AAA game development, with the hope that the additional time will only serve to make the games the best they can be. Game delays seem to be becoming more common in recent years, and usually the risk pays off when a better, more polished product is launched after much hype. This isn't always the case, however, with hugely anticipated games such as Cyberpunk 2077 suffering from a lack of polish and depth despite multiple delays. I guess time will tell whether this delay will pay off for Bethesda, but I, for one, will be hoping for another few great games to add to my list, and I won't be running out of things to play in the meantime, partly because of all the delays that have been happening. Anyway, that is the latest news for you lovely folks. I have been Taya on the Etch Play weekly live show. If you want to hear more from us, you can follow us here on Twitch, or you can watch this show very soon and our previous shows on YouTube, where you can subscribe. And if you're interested to hear more from the Etch Play team, every Friday we do a roundup on etchuk.com/play, where we talk about the games we've been playing, the news we've been reading, and general fun times on the games. It has been great to have Charlotte here with me today. Great to see some new people in the chat today for my first show. It's been a fun time. Thanks everyone, and we'll see you next week.